was trying to tell you before. I found someone.
This old guy?
He's already achieved so much, and he has a 5-year plan.
What is it? Don't die? I know you're gonna be missing me when you got that big, white, wrinkly body on top of you with his old balls. Gross.
What's up, guys? Boy Benny. We are here to create new media and new culture. We don't like the rotted old corporate culture and the psyop culture of the leftist media ecosystem echo chamber cluster. We don't give a shit that Jon Stewart is back at The Daily Show. That is utterly irrelevant to us. Jon Stewart did take over The Daily Show again, replacing the diversity, equity, and inclusion hire who failed and tanked the ratings. And Jon Stewart had his first show this week. Now, we haven't done anything, nor were we planning on doing anything about it, but we thought, since everyone was talking about his first show, that we would give you a bit of a breakdown. Here's why. Because something very strange is happening here, and we want you to be able to see clearly about it, not get tricked, not get psyoped into the narrative they want you to believe, which is this. Jon Stewart skewers Biden over a shambolic response to the DOJ report that questioned the president's mental competency. Returned to The Daily Show after 9 years. Squee! We never planned on covering Jon Stewart returning to The Daily Show. We don't care. Jon Stewart is an aging old lib. He has done nothing relevant. He is extremely guilty of self-flagellation and embarrassment in the years after The Daily Show and even during The Daily Show, which when we were younger, we thought was kind of funny. But who cares? Times change, right? And you're too old, Jon. And we certainly weren't planning, again, on covering this return. However, you should watch a couple of clips of Jon Stewart actually really going relatively hard at Joe Biden. This is important, obviously, because it is a watershed moment where a ton of media outlets, the Washington Post, CNN, New York Times, that would normally never criticize Biden, are criticizing Biden. But there's a reason for it. And we think we figured it out. Jon Stewart totally pissed off left-leaning viewers of The Daily Show, returning questioning Biden's mental fitness. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a watch of what Jon Stewart did and said about Joe Biden.
I don't know. Yes, it turns out that the leading cause of early onset dementia is being deposed. But back to President Biden. Biden was not about to take the special counsel's characterizations lying down, although chances are he was lying down when. The point is this. To the press conference, Batman!
My memory is fine. My memory, take a look at what I've done since I've become president. None of you thought I could pass any of the things I got passed. How'd that happen? I know what the hell I'm doing. I'm president. I put this country back on its feet. Well, no, he did not say that. Okay. He did not say that.
But Mr. President,
let me answer your question.
Many American people have been watching, and they have expressed concerns about your age.
That is your judgment. That is your judgment.
Boom! He took them to the house. He was all over it. Joe Biden taking names, kicking press conference over. You didn't mess up. You didn't. No, don't stop. Wait, hold on, sir. No, you killed this. Take the W. What are you doing? Do not go. Allow me to present to you a one-man show about what Joe Biden's advisors were doing when he turned around and went back to the podium. The show is called No! Do not go back! Please, but he went back.
I'm of the view, as you know, that the conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top.
Garbanzo, garment, Gaza. By the way, the response in Gaza has been over the top. You know, I like how Biden describes Israel's incessant bombing of civilians the same way my mother talks about the Super Bowl halftime show. It was a little much. Did they need to be on roller skates? Whatever happened to music? You sing the song and people will love it, but with the abs and the twirling. And the hits kept coming.
Initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
Now, geography buffs might have noticed Gaza and Mexico do not share a border. That Biden was referring to Sisi, the president of Egypt, not Mexico. Unless it was even worse than that, and he thinks the president of Mexico is named Si.
Quite frankly, probably what Joe Biden thinks. Jon Stewart continued going after Biden excessively hard. I mean, we're talking about late night leftist comedy here. So you won't ever hear anything like this on the Colbert Tonight Show, right? Of course not.
So Joe Biden at a big press conference to dispel the notion that he may have lost a step, and politically speaking, lost 3 to 4 steps. But don't worry, because they don't need the press conference. The Super Bowl was on Sunday, and the president was offered a chance, as per tradition, to do an interview where millions and millions of people could see him competently and clearly lay out his 2024 agenda. Or he could just turn that down and do what this is.
The Biden-Harris campaign joined TikTok over the weekend. The first video was released during the Super Bowl, and it shows President Biden answering questions related to the big game.
Game or halftime show?
Game.
Jason Kelce or Travis Kelce?
Mama Kelsey, I understand she makes great chocolate chip cookies.
Fire everyone. Everyone. How do you go on TikTok and end up looking older? So yes, everyone spent the entire weekend talking about whether the Democratic choice for president is mentally up to the challenge of the world's most demanding job.
So wait a second. That's actually Jon Stewart saying that Joe Biden isn't up for the challenge of being president. Wasn't counting on that. Wasn't in the bingo card that Jon Stewart, on his return back to The Daily Show, triumphant return, is going to say that Joe Biden shouldn't be president. Let's continue.
Ever run for president might have some of these challenges. Now, Democrats will say that any criticism like this, especially of Biden, is unfair because you just don't know Biden like they know Biden.
President Biden, who I've been around numerous times just in this last year, is sharp, he's focused, he's bright.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
This is a man who is sharp, who is on top of his game, who knows what's going on.
He's smart. He's on his game.
I was in almost every meeting with the president, and the president was in front of and on top of it all, coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our allies around the globe.
Did anyone film that? Because if you're telling us behind the scenes he is sharp and full of energy and on top of it and really in control and leading, you should film that. That would be good to show to people instead of a TikTok where he goes, chocolate chip cookie. We see he's in charge. You see, I like cookies.
Okay. So that's not only Jon Stewart skewering Joe Biden and his age, but also all of the adult sycophants who disgrace themselves defending Joe Biden every single day. And then going directly after Joe Biden's social media strategy, which of course is like tightly protected and sacrosanct. You're not allowed to make fun of Joe Biden on social media. So wasn't planning on that. But ladies and gentlemen, this is something that I was planning on. And it sort of shows you the cake that's being baked here. I'm not going to show you the rest of the clips. I encourage you to go watch the rest of the clips on the Jon Stewart channel. Okay? You can see here. There's a link to the actual full 20 minutes right here. What Jon Stewart does and is doing here is actually a bait and switch. Because what he's doing is he's effectively just parroting and making jokes about the DOJ report about Joe Biden's health and competency, which is all public, and we all know. That's already in the public eye. Then what Jon Stewart does during and in between every single joke, if you watch this full segment, is say how Donald Trump's the same thing. And so this is now the new talking points that are being sent out by our intel agencies and by the blorg, the blog, the blob, the intel blob that writes the scripts for half these shows in Operation Contel Pro and Mockingbird, ladies and gentlemen. The talking points go out. And here's the new talking points. The system is pushing out Jon Stewart to frame a new narrative. It's not just that Joe Biden is senile. Donald Trump is senile and old. Two birds, one stone. Now watch as this is being pushed across mainstream media nonstop. This is Dave Rubin calling this out. Saying that the new talking points are Joe Biden is laughable and old and stupid. But also Trump are those things too, and they should both go. And we got to pave the way for our new overlord, Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, whatever. That is, in fact, the talking point. All you had to do was walk over to a X account that I personally believe, and this is just, I have no evidence of this, but I just personally believe that this X account is actually literally ran by the CIA. That's what I think. I think that Rob Reiner is actually a creation of the intel blob. That Rob Reiner does, if you were to ask Rob Reiner, can I see your phone? Do you even have the X app on your phone? He wouldn't have it. That all of this is just manufactured. Because Rob Reiner is always the trendsetter on these narratives. Always. He is the first guy out. When they have a new talking point, Rob Reiner is the first guy out to be like, okay, here's the truth. Biden is old, but he's a decent and moral person who is effective. Trump is old, but he's a pathological lying criminal who's incapable of governing and will destroy American democracy, says Rob Reiner. So there's the new talking point. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. You see it right there before you on your screen. A super adept and sharp commentary here. It's not that just Joe Biden is senile. It's that he and Donald Trump are too old. You see, it's both of them. It's amazing. It's the wrap-up smear. When you are guilty of something, simply smear your opponent as being the same thing. And then you wrap it all up, merchandise it, hand it out to the press. So expect that to now be the new narrative. They're going to come after Donald Trump's cognitive state. They're going to come after Donald Trump, who's like, have you seen him? He's quick as a whip. He's standing up there doing 90-minute press conferences, doing sit-down interviews left and right. Joe Biden can't even do 10 minutes extemporaneously at the White House without literally crapping his pants, and metaphorically and spiritually. And indubitably, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they will do. So don't be psyoped, don't be tricked and thinking that Jon Stewart owned the libs. Nope. It's all part of the plan. They are going to go, they are now free to go after Joe Biden as long as they carry Trump into the insult and into the conversation and say, nope, actually, they're both senile. Bring me Gavin Newsom now. That's the plan. And ladies and gentlemen, don't let them get away with it. Okay? And that's why we would share with you Jon Stewart clips. Maybe this will be the last time. We'll see. We won't get fooled again. Won't get tricked again, Johnny boy. I used to watch it when I was like in college, and I was a lot dumber, stupider, and drunker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sober, and we're ready to put America first. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay pissed.